let's put the spotlight then on NTPC Renewables, talk a little bit about their asset monetization plans, value unlocking, as well as some of the growth targets. We've got Mohit Bhargava, who is the CEO at NTPC Renewables, joining us live. Thank you so much for joining in. To begin with, Mr. Bhargava, in the Q2 con call, the management indicated that monetization is going to happen by the month of December. So what's the update on that front?
Yeah, good morning and thanks for having me. I hope I'm coming through.
Yeah, you loud and clear.
Thank you. Yeah, we did mention that we'll try to push the asset monetization plan, which is still on track. I'll say maybe December is not happening, but definitely within this fiscal, we are targeting to complete the process.
What will be the benchmark here? Would you be using, let's say, the recent Tata deal with a PE investor for benchmarking purposes?
Nikush, that is always a question you need to look at. I don't think that's something which we have frozen right now. I mean, if you look at the process, we got EOIs from 13 people. And in fact, what's happened is that now again, we have got interest from another 4 or 5 foreign investors. So we have to quickly take a call whether to let them in or continue with the 13. So that's one issue which is up in the air. But yes, definitely Tata deal is the benchmark. And looking at the interest from the investors, possibly it should be better than that. But I won't put my money on anything right now because that's something which will happen in due course.
Do you need fresh capital or you are looking at establishing a benchmark? What is the idea behind this deal?
No, there's no such thing as establishing a benchmark. I think the market will give you a return or a number which is broadly in line with the market. So we are not looking at doing anything extraordinary here. But yes, we definitely need some money because our growth requirement, which we have been talking about quite a bit for some time now, is reasonably high. For example, we need to do 60 gigawatt by 2032. And we could be looking at close to around 14, 15 gigawatts in the next 3 years. So that requires a lot of capital, and that's why we are looking at getting an investor on board.
Okay. What exactly are the plans, deal, no deal, for the renewable business? Let's say if the deal does not go through, will it be business as usual? What are the plans for 2023? What are the plans for 2024? Because, sir, the place you represent right now is the most sought after place. Everybody from global investors to local investors, they're excited about knowing more.
So if I can dole out quick numbers, we have more than 3 gigawatts of operational capacity. In fact, the last 100, which helped us cross the 3 gigawatt mark, happened yesterday. So we have 3 gigawatts of installed capacity. We have another 5 gigawatts, which is under construction, and we have invited bids for another 7 gigawatts as on date. And that's a number which is dynamic, which keeps moving upwards every day. So, I mean, in terms of what the pipeline is and in terms of what the industry generally talks about, so we are working as on date on a 15 gigawatt pipeline. Apart from that, we are also working on ultra mega renewable energy parks of close to 20-25 gigawatts, which will give us visibility for setting up projects for a longer term also. We are definitely participating in the bids. We are looking at C&I customers. In fact, we are close to finalizing deal with a couple of them. We are also looking at non-PPA capacity, I mean, which may not have long-term PPAs, so that's the merchant space. The whole idea is that we have a mix of projects which are having long-term PPAs, maybe some very medium term and some on the C&I side. So that's how we are looking to grow. And of course, apart from this, we're also looking at hydrogen and ammonia, which will also happen in due course.
Sure. I was just going to ask you a little bit more about that, Mr. Bhargava, because we understand you had plans for green hydrogen as well. How far have they progressed?
In fact, we are probably among the very few who actually started work on 3 pilots. So the first one is blending of green hydrogen with natural gas. That's in Gujarat at Kawar. As we speak, the project is almost ready and is in final stage of testing along with the gas grid operator. which is Gujarat Gas. So we hope to get it operational maybe next week or maximum before the end of this year. So that will be online. The other project was of mobility using hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles in Leh. So we have placed orders for the hydrogen production and dispensing unit. We have placed order for the hydrogen bus. So that should start rolling. We hope to have at least one bus on the road by say August or September next year. That's the target. And the third is more of a circular economy type, where we'll be using carbon dioxide captured from our fuel stacks. And along with the nitrogen, we'll produce, along with carbon dioxide, we'll be producing methanol. So that'll be green methanol. So that's the whole idea. Other than that, we are looking very closely at the outcome of the expected national green hydrogen mission report, which will enable going forward with the domestic consumption of hydrogen or ammonia.
Interesting. Also, the street is, Mr. Bhargava, a little curious about the corporate rejig or formalizing and consolidation of the NGL arm, whether that's over or not. And of course, whether there is any clarity now on capital gain applicable on the transfer of the 15 assets that were talked about.
We are in the process of transferring the assets, which is about 2,800 megawatt. We have received clearance from the government on the capital gains side, so there will be no capital gains tax applicable on these projects. So of course, we need some clearances from the states, the PPA people, and lenders, and so on and so forth. That's in process. That should be concluded in the next, I would say, about 10 or 15 days or so. So that will enable transfer of these 2,800 megawatt projects from NTPC to NGL. And we'll also be transferring the shareholding of NTPC Renewables, which will now become a step-down subsidiary of NTPC to NGL. So that's on track. These were only procedural issues which are happening now. For example, on the PPA side, we have received clearance from a couple of states. We expect to get from the others also shortly. So all this is happening on track, I'll say.
All right. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us perspective as to how things are shaping up in terms of the stake sale as well as the growth plans for the business.